So this is connected to the previous video of the mob attacking the couple in Cincinnati. And it's regarding a council member of Cincinnati City Council who's black, and she has basically condoned the violence. And it's infuriated a lot of people. Her Facebook page, her last post was in 2024, but it's been inundated with angry calls for her to resign. Um, and I think she should. I don't know how someone can represent the public and come out with something like that. I'm just going to read out the report from the Cincinnati Enquirer. So this is a local report, and it's by Scott Wortman, the Cincinnati Enquirer. They begged for that beatdown. Council member Victoria Parks sparks backlash. Before I get into this, Victoria Parks isn't some mouthy 20-year-old. We're talking about a 67-year-old woman, a grown woman, an elected politician, coming out with this. An absolute disgrace. A Cincinnati council member sparked an online backlash with a response to one of several videos of the viral July the 26th fight in downtown Cincinnati. They begged for that beatdown. Councilwoman Victoria Parks posted to Facebook on Sunday, July the 27th at 4:50 a.m. in response to a video showing some of the brawl. I am grateful for the whole story. What sort of person is she? The post ended up getting the attention of conservative commentators and influencers, getting shared by the influential ex-accounts Wokeness and Libs of TikTok. Parks did not respond to multiple messages Wednesday seeking comment. Parks' office in Cincinnati City Hall was dark and the door was locked on Wednesday afternoon when an Enquirer reporter knocked. There was no answer. Cincinnati's council is officially non-partisan, but Parks, like all 9 members, was endorsed by the local Democratic Party. While the post garnered some criticism online, Parks hadn't deleted the post as of 3:30 p.m. July the 30th. The profile on the post links to one of 2 Facebook profile pages for Parks, and the one that has been most active since he joined Cincinnati City Council in 2022. The other Parks Facebook profile hasn't had a post since 2022. The one I saw seemed to be 2024, but maybe I'm mistaken in that. Um, 3 people have been arrested after videos of a fight in downtown Cincinnati on July the 26th have gone viral in recent days, becoming part of a broader national argument about politics, crime, and race. Multiple videos of the 3 a.m. Fight downtown circulated on social media over the weekend, showed a fight breaking out in a crowd. People threw punches, kicked, and jeered as a man on the ground tried to fend off the blows, and a woman tumbled into the concrete, bloody and disorientated. Uh, they failed to mention she was sucker punched. The video Parks reacted to doesn't show how the fight began, but appears to show the moments before it escalated. It starts with the man in a white polo shirt and another man in a black shirt, assuming a fighting stance as onlookers shout at them. The black shirted man kicks at the man in the white polo shirt. The man in the white polo shirt then throws a punch. It's not saying whether they're black and white. After someone else tries to break up the fight, the man in the white shirt appears to say something to the man wearing a red shirt. The man in the white shirt then slaps the face of the man in the red shirt. The brawl ensued. Park's take on the video drew rebukes from others on the internet. You're on City Council and you make a statement like this, wrote Facebook user Dede McLean. So this is appalling. I don't know how it works again in Ohio politics. I know in a lot of American legislatures there is power to recall a politician, even at low level. Now she's not a senator, she's not even a state senator, she's local level on Cincinnati City Council, but she has absolutely no business serving the public. To be clear, this is an elected politician condoning mob violence. I don't care what was said. No one should be condoning that, let alone someone who's in a position of responsibility. She is an absolute disgrace. She deserves all the heat she gets. She should be shamed wherever she goes. She should really be made to feel the heat. And the fact is, this wasn't sort of a moment's stupidity. We're not talking here about Lucy Connolly type moment stupidity and then she takes it down half an hour later. She still is standing by this. She's standing by it. That's what's shocking. Um, I think that there should be peaceful protests in Cincinnati because if there isn't, if this thing is allowed to fester, if the assailants get away on a light sentence, if this councilwoman is allowed to stay in her position, it's just going to breed resentment. So I think there should be peaceful protests. Um, It says that Cincinnati Council is nonpartisan. Okay, but at the very least, local Democrat Party, if they have any guts, if they have any integrity, they will condemn her comments at the very least, and they will take away any future endorsements. Even if she's not officially a Democrat, that's the very least they can do. One of the criticisms of the Democrats, and I'm not suggesting this is why they lost in 2024, I think there was various components to that, but one of the criticisms is their record on crime is appallingly bad. The fact of the matter is, Democrat run big cities in America are awash with crime. It's a very serious problem. This corrodes life quality of everyone, black, white, Asian, Hispanic, everyone. And the Democrats have allowed this to happen. I don't think it's accurate to say every Democrat is soft on crime. Remember, in California, Harris had a reputation as a prosecutor. So I don't think it's accurate to say she was a soft on crime. But her party is, particularly when the criminals happen to be black or another minority. I do think America's big cities have a severe problem. This is why, when people say that Sadiq Khan's London is out of control, and when Trump has the arrogance to lecture Sadiq Khan, there's American cities that are a lot smaller than London that are a lot more dangerous. Now, London has its problems, but London is a major world city. It's literally about Cincinnati's a population of around 400,000, I think, in the city boundaries. London's 9 million. So literally, it's, do the math, so it's at 36 times, 36 times bigger than Cincinnati. Um, and most American cities have a serious problem. Very few of America's big cities are safe. So this is something the Democrats have to answer to. And it's no good, saying the Republicans are race baiting or criticizing Trump in other areas. This is their problem, and they need to get a grip on it. If Gavin Newsom wants to run for president in 2028, he needs to get a serious grip on California's problems. Right now, he's open for attack. As governor, frankly, he hasn't done a great job of that. So I think this becomes a political issue. Now, some people will say, talking about the fact that it was a black mob attacking a white couple is race baiting. I say it's just pointing out the obvious. It's just pointing out what it is. It's pointing out the double standards of how these things are reported. Even right wing sources are calling it a brawl and a fight. And technically, it may have started off that way, but I am absolutely adamant, had this been the other way around, it would not be described that way. It just wouldn't. It absolutely wouldn't. Now, the Republican record on crime is nothing glowing either. I think their record on gun violence is appalling. I've often condemned them on that. I think the Democrats are right to say there needs to be better gun control in America. But, both parties, frankly, have a lot to answer for. The Republicans are soft on gun violence. The Democrats are soft on every other type of crime. So both parties cannot boast about this. Both parties have a lot to answer for. Um, Anyway, I'll wrap this up. But Victoria Parks is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. We're talking about a 67-year-old woman who thinks it's okay to justify mob violence. I don't care what was said. For her to do that in the position that she's in, um, I hope she's forced to resign. I don't know how that comes about. I don't know if a recall can be organised. I don't know if her fellow council members could perhaps be put under pressure to kick her out. There has to be some way that she cannot be allowed to stay in her office. For her to say it's a free speech issue, well, there's also responsibility with free speech. She could say this, um, but I don't think she should be allowed to say it in the position that she's in. And then she could say it as a private citizen and she'll deserve all the rebuke that she gets. I think she should be made uncomfortable with wherever she is. I'm talking in a peaceful way here. I'm not talking about violence, but I really think that she should be shunned. She should be refused entry to restaurants. She should be refused entry to businesses. She should really, really feel heat and understand that it's disgusting and unacceptable for an elected politician to advocate violence. What she is doing not only is insulting the victims, but insulting other victims of mob violence. What she's doing is fanning the flames. And she tried making this analogy, which you don't yell fire in a crowded theatre, i.e., implying that the victims had somehow provoked it because they said something bad. Like I say, even if they had, The fact of the matter is, you have a mob attacking a couple. Why couldn't it have just been? I'm not. Any fight would be bad, but at least make it one on one. At least settle your differences, go your separate ways. But for a mob to lay into these people, it's just ah. Any decent human being will look at that and feel nothing but disgust. Anyone who looks at that and their first reaction is to justify it as a piece of shit, whether it be Victoria Parks or any of the other people who might be condoning this or trying to downplay it, the hell with them. I really think she should face a hell of a lot of heat. I don't think it should blow over because she isn't showing any remorse. She isn't. She's doubling down on what she said, so she should not be allowed to forget this. And I just hope when it comes to the next Cincinnati Council election, she loses her position. But it should be more than that. She should feel the heat outside. I think too many Americans hide behind the free speech argument to say, well, we could say whatever we want, including reckless statements when you're a public official. Certainly, MAGA Republicans think they can spout out things and get away with it. Same difference. I see no difference